Angry Faithful. I just wanted to drop in, bend your ear a little bit, get your attention. So if you're not listening, drop what you're doing and pay attention to me, because I'm here to inform you that not only can you get your daily, maybe if you're binging it, I'm not sure, that's entirely up to you, but you can multiply your doses of angry me fuckery by paying attention to all of the platforms upon which you can find either the dulcet tones of my voice and David's voice, or my pretty face and David's not so pretty face. Anyways, digressing, we are on YouTube, we are on Spotify, we're on Rumble, we're on Google, Apple Podcast. We have a TikTok page. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and of course, Facebook. So if you find yourself fuckery deprived, curl up with a nice hot mug of shut the fuck up and just listen. Open those ear holes and be prepared to be cream pied like it's the first time. Thanks for listening.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today on What the Hell, we got man, I forgot your last name. No, it's Burrow. Mitch Burrow.
World famous comedian Mitch Burrow, although very forgettable.
You want me to give you some applause there? There we go. We got some applause there.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know what? It's one of the comedians that go to open mic and everything like that, or the comedians that actually go to the show and everything. You're the ones I like, because you do your show and you make it to where everybody has problems with this fucking town. I mean, you came here from L.A.
Yeah.
From because of COVID and everything.
I think it's very important to say I don't belong here.
Oh yeah.
I'm not supposed to be here. I'm a victim of circumstance. I am way better than Wichita Falls.
Everybody tells me the same thing, and I've been here for close to 38 years. So.
I get it. You belong here.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
I don't know if I belong here, because I'll end up going to other places and everything, and it's just like a flip of a coin. And I come here and I do one of my jokes, and they're like, "I can't believe you even fucking said that." I'm like, "Really?"
I've been a professional comedian for 15 years. I just I hit a breaking point when my daughter was born, and I had to.
Yeah.
I got scared, so I took a regular job that paid insurance and stuff like that, and then as soon as I got here, I was like, what was I thinking, man? I've made a huge mistake. I could teach my daughter to believe in herself, and take chances, and always follow your heart, but instead I taught her that sometimes it's best to just give up and go back to the corporate world. But hopefully I'll change that. Hopefully.
Well, you still got. If you go down to Austin a lot.
I do. I actually am in a competition down there.
Oh, really?
It's the Austin Comedy Competition. Grand prize $5,000, and I've finished first in the last 2 rounds. So the final round is in 2 weeks. And hopefully I'll walk away the champion.
Oh, that's great, man.
I feel really good about it. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm doing it, and here, real quick, let me just preface.
Okay.
Rappers are always talking about how they're the greatest rapper alive.
Yeah.
Every rapper is the best. They have confidence, they have swag, and they exude that at all times. Comedians, for the most part, tend to be a little more withdrawn. They don't really talk, they don't brag about themselves unless it's Dave Chappelle, who has no problem telling everybody that he's the greatest. Comedians, for the most part, don't ever talk about how good they are. I'm done with that. I stood back too long with modesty.
Yeah.
I'm done with modesty. I'm great. And it is time for me to show. So I'm doing this competition, and for the most part, there is no one on my level. It almost feels unfair, but it's $5,000, so I don't care.
Yeah.
So I'm going down there. I drive 4.5, 5 hours to get to Austin.
Which way do you go? Do you go through Fort Worth?
Yeah, I go.
There's a different way you can go through like mineral wells.
Yeah, it's so boring.
It's boring, but you don't have to deal with the traffic.
You drive through Texas. It's
Of course,
like,
you're from LA, so you're just like used to the traffic. It's like, I remember this shit.
it takes me back. It's nostalgic.
Yeah.
Driving through Texas is like, you ever seen the way they used to make old movie, like in the silent era days?
Yeah, and they
like,
put stock footage of.
and it would be on a wheel.
Yeah.
And so, like, if it was a car chase or something, the car would be sitting still, and then there'd be this stock footage on a wheel that would spin to make it look like they were driving. But it's always the same tree that spins around every 15 seconds, so you can tell.
Well, there's some towns that.
And that's Texas.
Yeah, there's some towns that you just blink and it's fucking.
You
gone.
drive through Texas, the same scenery every time. People love to shit on California. Oh, communist California. I could never live in a place like that.
No, there's some places in California I wouldn't mind.
Gorgeous.
It is.
It is the most beautiful state. I put it up. Montana, Colorado, and California are the most beautiful places. Seattle, like Washington, is fine, but it's just
Montana would probably be my first. There's certain parts of Texas that I've seen. You go over by Louisiana. It's a little bit. It's more greener. And
going
everything.
toward like. Okay, so Louisiana, so southeast Texas.
Yeah.
Okay.
You go to southeast Texas, like even go down to Houston. You go down to Houston.
Yeah, but Houston is dirty.
Oh, you are not wrong, sir.
Screwston.
I literally drive around Houston. I go towards Houston.
Yeah.
And my buddy that does the podcast with me, he lives down south over by the coast. He lives next to Houston. I'm gonna go around Houston. And he bitch smoking. Why don't you go through Houston? It's a lot faster. It's like bullshit. I don't want to die.
Yeah.
I carry a gun, but it doesn't mean I want to use the damn thing.
That's a smart way to. Too many people that have guns are real eager to use it.
Stupid people.
Yeah,
it's the people that have actually used it in situations that just I was like, I don't want to fucking do that shit anymore.
Yeah, I have a few guns myself. Nothing crazy, but I keep them for protection. But I'm never like wearing it on my hip. Like today's the day.
I wear it.
I'm feeling itchy. Today's the day.
The only reason why I started like really wearing it on my hip nowadays is because of the state hospital here.
Oh yeah.
They went from 3,000 to 300 people. Guess where those people went?
On the street.
On the street.
That's very interesting. Wichita Falls, for people who don't know, has a mental hospital. It's the Texas
North Texas State Hospital. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a mental facility.
Yeah.
And in fact, a school shooter is interned there. I can't remember his name, but I think he killed like 18 people or something like that. And
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, he was one of them here in Texas, and he's on like a mental watch, insanity plea. I don't think that they've gone either way yet or not, but instead of being in prison right now, he's in that mental facility here in Wichita Falls, Texas.
Yeah, but I talked with Chad Prather.
Yeah.
He was when he was doing his thing for governor. Mm-hmm. I caught him, and he was supposed to do a show here, and he worked here for like 2008 and stuff, and we were talking about it. I was like, dude, why is it Wichita Falls just seems to scream out trying to be Florida?
Oh, really?
Okay, the Pringle wine lady that was driving around in her fucking go-kart?
I have no idea. I've not heard about this.
Dude, it was on every fucking podcast I ever listened to. Joe Rogan, Drinking Bros, all kinds of fucking ones. And that was like literally the first time I've actually heard of it. There was this lady that had a Pringles can, and she put a bottle of wine in it and started drinking it. And she's on one of those
like the rascal thing.
Yeah.
For fat people and people who can't walk.
Yeah, and she was just driving around the one on here on Central Freeway over by the base. She was just
wow,
and that got everybody.
I will say this: back when I lived out in the country in Georgia when I was younger, there was something to getting a little boozy and going out into the pasture in a vehicle, because you could drive out in the pasture no worries. You ain't gonna
Yeah.
get a DUI out there. Man, it's a nice time.
It is a nice time.
So
I've done
I
that
get
with
it.
like golf carts and shit like that.
Put
fucking
your wine in
Raptors, yeah.
Wine in a Pringles can is pretty genius.
It is fucking genius.
It's the perfect size.
But I was like, it was funny because I talked to Chad about it. I was like, if it wasn't on your podcast I wouldn't even fucking hear about it because it's one of those weird things that is just those things come up, and I'm like, okay, makes sense.
You know the
I'm
thing
used to
about
this
you know
insanity.
why you hear it as always being like Florida man
Yeah.
or whatever. Florida has a law that anything in the public domain can be published. It's something so anything that is government related gets published.
Oh,
And so
okay.
newspapers, so you don't have to wait for like a police blotter or something like that to come out. If there is something involved with government, whether it be Congress, mayor, city council, or police or fire department, it gets released.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's
so
interesting.
that's why you'll always hear Florida man, Florida man, Florida man, because when it's a slow news day, they start looking to see what's going on in Florida because that's available to the public. In fact, there was a guy running for mayor that had to release a lunch that he had with his son because he was technically on the clock as mayor. So that got put out to the public, and it kind of became like a question of whether he was misusing funds to go to lunch with his son.
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, it was just a legitimate thing. But he had to put it out there because of the time and his position that he held.
That's so strange.
It's actually a really wonderful law.
Hey.
It makes Florida look retarded, but it is complete transparency as far as like the government and freedom of press.
Yeah.
They have to put that stuff out there. More places should do it. Plus, how many other awesome stories would we get?
Oh God.
You know?
Did you see that one where guy was like dancing with a fucking alligator?
I'm sure I did.
It was just. Oh, there's this one cat.
Louisiana and Florida have a different relationship with alligators than most people would realize.
It is so fucking strange.
There's a video of this girl. She's probably like 11 or 12, and they're out on a dock with a rope swing, and you see an alligator just floating out in the water, and she's like, "Hey, Dad, watch this!" And then she swings on the rope swing and lands about 1.5 feet from the alligator, and it like immediately like goes underwater and scurries away, and she comes up laughing, and the dad was like, "Oh, okay, that one might have been a little too close. Leave the gator alone, girl." But they just don't care. Like I was doing a boat tour of gators in a Louisiana swamp, and we probably saw like 20 alligators, big alligators, like scary creatures. And then you go up the water a little bit, and all these houses have docks, and then I noticed a few of them have like ladders into the water, and then a few of them have rope swings. And I asked the guy giving us a tour, I was like, "Excuse me, this might be a silly question, but are people using these ropes to swing into the water?" He's like, "Yeah, they do it all the time." I was like, "Even with all these alligators around here?" He's like, "Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm more worried about people on jet skis than I am these alligators. The gators don't want to mess with you, but the people on jet skis, they'll run you over without even thinking about it." And I was like, "You and I are afraid of real different things."
Fuck yeah. I was like that whole fucking thing where I was thinking about going on a bear hunt, and I told somebody this. I was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about going on a bear hunt. I think I want a bearskin coat.
Yeah.
I want a fucking legitimate that I fucking went out there, killed the motherfucker, and I'm wearing it.
All right.
I want to be that level of fucking badass."
Well, I'll tell you what. If you do it with a knife,
No.
I'll give you credit.
I'll give you another story that just flips me out. But she's just like, "Bears are so majestic." Dude, I just seen a freaking bear like just play around. I don't even say play around. It literally like chomped on a moose's back.
Oh, I saw that
ripped it.
video. Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, they don't play,
majestic
man.
motherfucker. Yeah, fuck that. Now I was out deer hunting one time, and this deer just full. It was ready to be shot. It was like probably around maybe about 8 points.
Yeah.
deer just comes right up to us. We still had like a little bell peppers and everything. Just came up there. My friend, without skipping a goddamn fucking beat, grabs the goddamn fucking horns and just cuts his fucking neck.
That's crazy.
I was like, holy shit! What the?
What was wrong with this deer that it just walked up to y'all like that? That ain't normal.
You'd be surprised around here. It's Texas. I don't know what it is. It's Texas water or something like that. Just some animals get like a little bit of ballsy.
My cousin, we were both in the military. I was in the Marine Corps. He actually retired out of the Army. He's a little bit older than me, but so he had his big old Bowie knife on him one day. He was driving down the highway. He hit a deer, and it ends up over on the ditch. And he gets out to check his vehicle, see how damaged it is. But then he hears the deer bleating, like bah, bah, and he's like, oh man. So he goes over there and he tries to put it out of his misery. He tries to break its neck first.
What the fuck?
So he's like trying to Van Damme this thing. People are just driving down the highway, by the way, and they see this guy just twisted on this deer's neck. That doesn't work. So then he goes back and he gets his Bowie knife. And now people are driving by and they're just seeing a guy holding the deer by its antlers and just slicing its throat, blood spraying everywhere. Kids are crying. What is that man doing? And in his mind, he's just like, I'm sorry, fella. I'm going to get you out of your misery. Don't you worry.
Oh, dear God.
Meanwhile, everybody else is like, there's a psychopath on the side of the road.
Dude,
he killed it. He took it out of its misery.
Dude, that was fucking classic.
You can't eat that, by the way.
No, because a lot of the times the bladder hits.
Well, that and the blood, like when you bruise the meat like that, and, the blood just goes through the meat, and it's just not any good.
You would have to cut it apart and everything, and that's what a lot of people don't understand.
You can still mount it as long as it's a big one.
Yeah,
go ahead and throw that up on the wall.
Fuck yeah,
yeah.
I would
got
do
that one with a. So I got this one. I killed this one with my 308. Used a 243 for this one, and then this one over here is a 65 Mustang. So,
God, that would probably tear that deer would probably tear that motherfucker up.
Not an old Mustang. That's a steel.
It messed up the front end pretty good. I know it's freaking. Dude, I had a 1978 freaking Impala.
Didn't you watch Back to the Future?
Yeah.
When they were Back to the Future 2, when they go back to the 50s and they're flying behind Biff. Yeah. And Marty McFly says, let's just land on top of it. And he's like, that's a 50-something Chevy. This is a 9, or wait, I guess it was like 80. So he's like, this is an 80-something DeLorean. We're aluminum. This will rip us to shreds. So the old cars, I think,
they were tanks.
handle impacts with wildlife a little bit better.
I was like that scene in Captain America, the first Avenger.
Yeah.
Where he grabbed that car door and it stopped all those bullets, and someone's like, "That's unbelievable." I was like, not for that time frame, no.
Yeah.
That's a 9mm.
Also,
going against one of the steel doors.
We're talking about a guy who weighed 145 pounds, got injected with a super serum, is now the studliest, manly-looking man ever. But the car door stopping bullets is where you draw the line of believability.
Yeah. I can't believe that shit. That happens all the fucking time because I have like intelligent people.
There's also an alien
artifact.
An alien god, Thor, an alien Norse god coming down with his wicked brother Loki. But the door that stops bullets is where you're like, this is crazy.
It's so fucking hilarious when people do that. And a friend of mine did the same thing when we were watching Game of Thrones. It was the last, I think, 7th or 8th season, and they're finally moving. It was the 8th season because they're finally doing their army. And we were watching it. It was a time frame where the Dothraki come in, and we're going against the last Lannister's army, the King's army, and everything. My friend was like, Well, back in that time frame, that would never work because they're coming in on those rides, and that actual shield wall would work. And then a fucking dragon comes up. And I was like, what if you have a fucking dragon? What if you have that?
Also, back in that time frame, this could be taking place present day. This is a different universe.
Yeah.
This is a world with dragons and magic. Like, so someone brought this up. When you read fantasy novels and you have like The Hobbit and stuff like that where there's magic, you have to realize that technology is going to stop advancing because you have magic. So these places, for all we know, this is modern time in these worlds because they have these magical abilities that they don't need to create electricity and shit like that. So that society doesn't advance.
Or reverse, they can actually incorporate their technology, like using my phone and like a lot of D&D stuff and everything like that. You have to have a spell book, but you have your phone on you, so you have all your spells on hand.
Yeah.
So you're like, boom.
Or you use your phone for FaceTime and stuff. You look at Harry Potter; they use a chimney. They just talk to each other through a flame in the chimney. There's no reason for phones to ever exist. You already have something like that.
Exactly.
So
that's what a lot of people can't like differentiate when they're actually watching film and everything. Now, if it's supposed to be something like realistic, like Terminal List.
Yeah.
Terminal List, badass fucking show.
Loved it.
Fucking Jack Carr's a genius when it comes to writing and everything.
Have you read his actual novels?
Yeah.
So he supposedly he runs his stuff by the government. And then they'll tell him that he has to take things out. So rather than actually remove things from his novels, he will redact it like the CIA does and just put black lines over it. Here's my theory.
Best had to do the same thing.
Here's my theory. That's not true. I think he isn't... I think he just runs out of stuff to say, and then he just puts in black lines.
That would be fucking hilarious.
And then he's like, "Yep, the CIA said I couldn't divulge this type of information, so
that is fucking hilarious."
But really, he just couldn't come up with a good plot point for it, and he's like, "Yep, let's just put some black lines in there, and we'll let the reader's imagination take over."
Next time I see him, I'll ask him that.
But here's what I'll say: people can't enjoy shit anymore. Since you brought that up, a lot of people were hating on Chris Pratt in that show on Amazon. I actually I liked that one better than the Jack Reacher show. I thought that,
I like them both equally.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But I like the aspect of Jack Reacher to where because I like cop movies.
Okay, I hate cops. So. I'm not a big fan of cheering for him on television either.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like bullies. People who for the most part got fucked with growing up, and they're like, I'm gonna make a change, but then they just turn into bullies too.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite thing to see is someone with like a thin blue line sticker on their car, and that is now being pulled over by the police, and it's like, let's see how far that gets you, buddy. Because guess what? They don't fucking care.
No, I don't.
You're going to get a ticket just like everybody else.
You should come on the show when I do when Tansy comes on.
Yeah? Is he a cop?
Yeah. Well, ex-cop. He stopped. He got fired because he started his own distillery. He makes rum now.
And good for him. I mean, I think he's doing a better service to the public running a distillery than being a police officer.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I just think what's crazy is they've turned this thing in the media with cops killing unarmed black people as this point of contention. But truly, when you look at it, this is the news doesn't get as much of a kick out of cops killing white people, and when you get people with like who want to fight. The idea that cops are racist, their favorite statistic to bring up is that, well, cops kill more white people than black people, which is true.
Yeah.
But then when you get people on the Black Lives Matter side, they'll bring up, well, they kill black people at a higher rate.
Yeah, they have to be better.
Which is also true.
Yeah.
Okay, both of those things are true. Cops kill black people at a higher rate. Cops kill more white people. But let's come together on this and just realize Cops are fucking killing people. And that's where you have a problem. That's what the media needs to focus on. And who investigates the cops? The fucking cops.
Yeah.
You can't do that. There needs to be another agency. Who polices the police? The police. So, of course, they're not going to get in trouble.
It literally has to go through a different part of the division.
Yeah, but it's still
or different. It is still the police.
Here's the thing.
I was like, when I was working corrections at the All Red unit, all of our stuff goes through DPS.
My uncle was a police. He was chief of police in the town that I lived in. I think when you grow up in a small town, and I grew up in a town of 200 people.
Okay.
And then the next city over, which had city police, was probably like a couple thousand, maybe like 2,000 or something like that. When you grow up in places like that, you have a more personal relationship with the police, and you tend to have a more fond feeling towards them. Now, since then, I've lived in foreign countries. I've lived in large cities like Seattle and Los Angeles, and there is no sense of community there. It is an us versus them, and the cops in a larger city are not what people from smaller towns think the police are. So that's why you see such a contentious relationship with citizens and the police, because it has become a us versus them mentality in these places. It's not a protect and serve. And then you look at something like Uvalde, where there was a school shooting and you got 40-something cops just fucking standing outside for a half an hour while kids are getting shot inside.
Yeah.
Now everyone's looking at the police going like, well, what are you actually fucking doing? Other than forfeitures and seizures, when someone's driving with $10,000 in their vehicle, the police pull them over and go, oh, this must be for drug dealing, and then they take some guy's life savings from them. Or some drunk guy is getting pulled over and the cops are giving him multiple different directions at the same time. He goes to pull up his shorts. They think he's got a gun. They shoot an unarmed guy right there. There's just a lot of bad shit that's happening. I also think that cops do good stuff, and they are putting their lives on the line, but there's no one actually holding them to the flame when they fuck up.
What gets me whenever, because I talk to a lot of cops, only because my dad works for the sheriff's department.
What's your dad do at the sheriff's department?
He's a jailer. Now he's actually maintenance, but he's a jailer.
Yep.
But talking to I'll get pulled over, and I'll have like an honest God conversation after you get like after that whole bit, because whenever a cop comes up to you, they're up here. They're on high alert. Their adrenaline spiking and everything like that, and you literally have to like talk to them. It's like, hey, how's it going, buddy? Why'd you pull me over? What's going on here?
There's a training video. So every police officer that goes through some sort of cadet training, what police academy or whatever, everybody gets to watch this same video. And I think it was in the 80s. It's this long-haired guy getting pulled over in a truck, an older guy, obviously like a Vietnam vet or something. He gets pulled over, and he gets out of his car and he starts yelling at the cop. And the cop's telling him to do, probably like a younger officer, maybe a year or two in. He's telling him to calm down or whatever. That guy says he's had enough, and within a matter of seconds, he reaches in behind the seat of his truck, pulls out an AR, and guns down this cop. And that is something that they show these police going through training all the time.
Wouldn't you rather have, though, the thought? I mean,
were you in the military?
Yeah, I was in the Air Force.
Okay. So when you are in the military, there are absolute rules of engagement. And if you're in the military and you go outside of those rules of engagement, you will get court-martialed and you will go to Leavenworth. When you were a police officer, the rules of engagement are thrown away. It's like you're saying, they treat every single person that they pull over as a criminal, as a possible person that is going to put them in harm's way. And then a lot of people suffer and get killed because of that.
Yeah.
When they shouldn't have.
Well, yes, and hands down. But nowadays,
if you were taking that job, when I joined the Marine Corps, and I got sent to Iraq, I did that with the knowledge that something could happen to me. Okay, when you become a police officer, you were doing that with the knowledge that something could happen to you. And I would much rather read a story about a brave police officer who gave their life and be sad about that than to read a story about a coward police officer that shot an unarmed person and be upset about it.
Okay, I see.
Because that happens way too fucking much.
It does, and nowadays they're getting more accountability because of that, though.
I mean, it looks like we might be headed towards that way, but it is still far and few between.
It is far and few, and I totally agree with you on that one. And I totally agree.
I would love to go back to the days of admiring police.
Yeah,
I think that's something that you should have heroes.
but okay, and because I love New York in I think mid 70s.
Serpico?
Dude, I love those stories. Not that I love the place and love the time frame, love what was going on in that time frame. And yes, I do believe those cops during that time frame should have been in fucking jail. But I love the stories on those things.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, coming from that time frame to this time frame, it has changed a lot. But here's the thing: you still have assholes in there, and you're gonna, no matter what job you're going to, you're gonna have assholes that think. Working corrections was a big fucking eye opener how fucking people think, because you'll have people that think they own the fucking night.
Yeah.
And they just go out and treat people. Me, I was totally different. I was like, hey, I don't give a shit. I know this fucking. I'm only here for like 12 hours. I'll help you out as best as I can, but if I can't, I can't.
Yeah.
You're here because you fucked up.
Sure.
But I'm not going to go out there and go, hey, how's it going? Kick the balls. You go ahead and go away. You know how fucking dead I would be in the next couple of minutes?
I get it. But again, I think there's a little bit of a difference between corrections officer and police officer. You're already dealing with people who have been convicted of a crime.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not they got a fair trial, I'm not going to get into any of that. But those people have been convicted, found guilty, and now you are on high alert with some prisoners.
Yeah.
But pulling over somebody for a traffic stop should not result in a death.
No, you're right.
But let me say this, because it got a little too serious. I just want to say that ultimately, this is what I want to see. Let's take away cops' guns, because I remember in the early 2000s, what we got a lot of on YouTube was people getting tased, and there was even a great meme of the dude. Don't tase me, bro. Right?
Yeah.
Don't tase. Well, they tase people. The fucking cops were getting lawsuits brought against them. So they quit using their tasers and they just went to shooting them, because if you shoot them, they can't fucking sue you, I guess.
Yeah, they can.
But I miss those fucking taser videos. That's what I want to see.
I'm
tired of seeing unarmed people getting shot. Tase the shit out of them. That's what I want.
I watched the testing. Have you watched the testing fucking videos?
Yeah, where they're standing up there and then they'll tase them and they got a person on each side of them to make sure they don't fall down and crack their skull. One dude, guy, dude, are you gonna talk about the chick?
No. I'm talking about this black dude. This black dude just he gets tased. He's like, as soon as he gets tased, he's like, I'm what? And he falls down.
That's what every black guy should yell when they're getting fucked with by the police. I identify as white. I am trans white. I'm a trans white person.
Hell yeah.
Now there's this woman. I think she's military. I don't know if she's Army or what, but they're holding her up. She must be an MP, right? And they're holding her up, and then they tase her, and she with their left hand, she just reactively grabs the guy next to her dick and just squeezes it as hard as she's spasmed out. Her hand is locked down in a grip on this guy's dick, and she's just like, and then you just see him on the side being like, stop tasing her.
Dude, I'll watch those. Another set of videos I started watching a lot of is the military fails.
Oh, really?
Dude.
What are some good ones for military fails? Because I was in the Marine Corps. We never failed. I wouldn't know anything about that.
Dude, I'm surprised most of y'all's machinery actually fucking work.
Yeah, it's all hand-me-downs from the.
Yeah,
From the Army and the Air Force.
I had a thing when I was in Bahrain. I was at the air base of the Bahrain, and we were moving cots. We were doing serviceable and unserviceable. Mm-hmm. And this is supposed to go to the Marine Corps. And we were setting it all up, and I had a pile of unserviceable. Was just basically the frame. The cot part was gone.
Yeah.
Fucking major comes up here. Marine major comes up. He's like, "What are those two? What's the difference between the two piles?" It's like one's serviceable and one's unserviceable. It's like those are still good. Put them in the service pile. I was like, my command told me to do it this way. I'm doing it this way. You go talk to him. I'm not dealing with this shit.
Yeah, what'd that major go do?
He went to go talk to my command.
Yeah, and then what'd they say when they came back?
They said, do what he says. I don't care. But
what was your rank at the time?
It was senior airman, so I was an E4. Yeah, I was the E4 Mafia.
I'm surprised you had those balls. To say that,
dude. I just found out I had to go to war. My mom just committed suicide, so I was like, "Fuck, what are you gonna do?" I'm like two shakes of starting a fucking shotgun.
You gonna kill my dad?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Come on, let's see what you got. Your mom committed suicide.
Yeah. She had.
That's a deep thing to just throw on somebody.
Oh, dude.
Conversation.
It's one of those. Dude, I'll get even worse. My life has been dark.
So what were you? 24 at the time? 23?
22.
22 years old.
Yeah.
And your mom took her own life.
Yeah, it happened like right before 9/11. It was a month before. Huh?
Wow. I guess so. You're 42.
43.
43. So we're about the same. I'm 42.
Yeah.
So we were in at the same time.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. And where were you stationed at when you got that news that your mother had killed herself?
Dice Air Force Base.
Where's that?
Abilene.
Oh, so it's here in Texas.
Yeah, it's 3 hours away.
And is this where you grew up?
Yeah.
So it happened here.
Yeah.
Man, how did they tell you?
I got my first sergeant. He came in. And the reason why I can talk a little bit fluently, it freaks people out that I'm talking this fluently.
It's been a while.
But yeah, it's been a while. What had happened is I got a call from my first. Well, actually, I didn't get a call from my first sergeant. The whole fucking day was just fucked. I had to go to the monthly meeting, so I had to walk. The girl I was seeing at the time had the car, so I had walking all over this fucking base. Then she got arrested, so I had to go pick up my car, take, and this is like. This is a nuclear base.
Right.
So everything's spread out, just in case one of those motherfuckers goes off. Mm-hmm. So I had to walk like probably a good 10 miles just to get my car back, drive home, got all my stuff. I get home, I'm already, I see my first sergeant, I was like, well, fuck me running, because my blouse is off, I already look like shit.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to keep everything
You think you're about to get in trouble.
I was about to get in trouble. And then he told me, he's like, hey, you need to call your dad. I was like, what? So I call my dad, I break the fuck down.
That's, like, you don't know what's coming, but you know it's not going to be good. Mm-hmm. You know, you need to call your dad. Oh man, I must really be in trouble. If you
like, fuck, you call my dad?
If you're not going to take care of it yourself, you're sending me to my dad. I don't know what kind of punishment I'm about to get.
This is Texas.
Yeah.
I've gotten a couple of good licks when I was a kid.
Like growing up, if someone was like, all right, you want to do that, you go call your dad. Like, no, we can handle this between us.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
If you want to beat me right now, I'd be more than fine to take that.
I still might be able to survive this if you beat my ass.
So you called your dad?
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't even tell you. He was just like, call your dad.
Yeah, he didn't even tell me, really. I called my dad up.
I think I would rather be prepared for it and be like, I would have rather someone been like, hey, your mother passed away.
Yeah.
You need to call your dad.
What's really sad about the whole thing is I got off the phone like 5 hours away. I was talking to her 5 hours ago.
Wow.
Yeah. I was talking to her.
So whatever you said made her kill herself.
Probably. Probably. I am a shitbag, so it might have happened that fucking way.
So you had talked to her 5 hours earlier.
Yeah.
And then you call your dad, and he told you what happened.
Yeah.
Man, that's a rough one. How did she do it?
Revolver.
Head. That is so uncharacteristic of women.
Women, yeah. Mostly it's pills.
Because of vanity reasons, they don't want to mess up their looks, so they don't.
Oh, she's fuck ugly. She
I used to tell a joke where I would say, most women who commit suicide will do it with pills rather than a gun because for vanity reasons they don't want to mess up their face, which is crazy because if they were that pretty to begin with, they wouldn't need to kill themselves.
Yeah.
You said your mom was ugly.
No, she was a decent woman. She was a decent looking woman.
Obviously, just was dealing with mental health issues.
Well, what it was she had shit. Well, one, she had she was bipolar, schizophrenic, all that kinds of shit. She had a slip disc, and this is the time frame where they started
opioids.
Opioids. She was on that, and when I found out from a friend later, like years later, not even like a couple of months, just years later, it's like, hey, we found her one time on the yard, just passed the fuck out. I was like, at what point in time did you not like put A to B to? Getting news like past the situation after everything's fucked off. It's like that whole situation, like Uvalde. It was like, well, I was in the neighborhood and I had all my guns and everything. I could have gone in there, but I decided not to. And you say this like a couple of years later, or you just go out.
You think it was the physical pain? Because I've had
it's physical pain.
As a stand-up comedian, that is a group of people that, for the most part, tend to deal with mental health issues more than other jobs, I think. So I've known
most of them are on something.
I've known an unnormal, just a disproportionate amount of people that I've known and been friends with have killed themselves.
Yeah.
2 of them were women that were in physical pain from either like Crohn's disease or something. They were just constantly in pain, and that was their way out.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the slip disc along with the stuff, and I'm wondering, since she was on the opioids, I don't think a lot of people realize the physical pain that some people go through on a daily basis.
Dude, I had a kidney stone this week, and I was ready to fucking rip my goddamn fucking kidney out. I have 2.
Did you pass it?
Oh yeah, I passed it. And
how big was it?
3 millimeter. It wasn't even that big.
Man, but it's coming out of your pee hole,
dude. I looked at the
like,
toilet.
Mom, I'm coming. I'm about to.
No,
I
wasn't that far gone. But I was ready to like live my life with one kidney, and if I had to find somebody with another kidney that could actually support me, I would steal theirs or reappropriate their kidney.
I mean, it was that bad.
The pain. Okay, take an ice pick. Shove it in your kidney.
Nope, I'm not going to do that.
And wait until someone says, "Hey, I think you've had enough. Let me go ahead and pull that out."
That's you're asking me how I could drink something like this. Look at me, I'm not a healthy person. You think I don't love Coca-Cola? But I know all that shit like is what results in kidney stone. I drink water.
I drink water or coffee or sweet tea.
So what do you think? What on your diet caused you to get the kidney stone? Because it's some kind of buildup in your kidneys that is calcium deposits or something, right?
It's genetics.
Genetics. Oh God, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone in my family.
My dad told me, he's like, yeah, your grandmother. It comes. Some people they're more prone for kidney stones than other people.
Let me ask you this. I want to go back to your mom just a minute.
Okay.
I've taken over the podcast. We're gonna get to know you.
Okay. You know what? Strangely enough, I've actually been wanting someone to do that.
Yeah, man. Like, let's talk about it because I think
that's not even the worst story.
Oh God. All right. Well, hold on. Let me just ask you. Okay, so, my grandfather raised me, and he passed away September 23rd, 2019. So almost 3 years to the day.
Okay.
He called me every single day. And then once he quit calling me every day, that's when I realized his health was on the decline. But I do have a ton of voicemails that I had saved. Not thinking that he was going to die, just that I was, lazy and didn't clean out my voicemail. And so it's nice that every now and then I can go back and click on one and I can just hear his voice. Yeah. And it might be something simple like, "Hey son, it's your granddaddy. It's 3:00 your time. Give me a call whenever you get this message." Something like that. Yeah. Your mother passed away in 2002.
2001.
2001. Oh yeah, right before 9/11.
Yeah.
You probably didn't have voicemails or anything like that saved.
No. I just recently.
What about videos or home videos or anything like that? I
just recently got photos of my mom.
That's it. So around the same time, I got out in 2003. I had a best friend in the Marine Corps who got me a civilian job once we both got out. And then a couple years later, he died in a motorcycle accident. And I was talking to my wife about it last night, actually. I get really sad sometimes because I can't hear his voice anymore. I can't remember his voice. And it's like a really weird feeling that this guy that I love more than anybody, he was my best friend. We were tight. We were in Okinawa, Japan, best friends. Got me a job as a civilian, just like was always there for me. And then just slowly over time,
you just forget about this.
I lost that sound.
Yeah.
I can't imagine him talking to me anymore. And it's a really weird feeling. But like with my granddad, I had so you had your mom for 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like are there still memories that stick out that you can close your eyes and kind of see her or hear her?
You're gonna laugh. The one that stands out is she was getting rid of a tree limb out of a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And she was standing on top of it.
Okay.
And she was sawing this motherfucker.
Is this how she got the slip disc?
It might be. Because she fell out of this motherfucker.
Oh my God.
Like, boop. I was like, Are you serious?
That's some shit you see in the cartoons.
Exactly.
Where they're like sawing it closer to the street.
Exactly. That was the exact thought. It was going in my head. I was like, she's not thinking like it's a cartoon. Oh, yeah, apparently. Because she fucking just, like, and just plop.
So you have that memory like ingrained.
Yeah, I mean it's the funniest memory, and I'm happy for that, and nothing like really horrible. Yeah. Like I have some stuff in there, but that is the one that stands out, and I love that only because of the basic fact of it was something funny. Yeah. Yes, it was horrible seeing that because, and I'm still surprised. The only thing that happened to her was she had a bruised ankle.
Okay.
Apparently, I think about 10 feet you're good.
Yeah, that's probably a safe zone. I mean, if people can slam dunk a basketball and drop down from there. My granddad loved to take me for rides when I was growing up. He owned a granite business where he sold tombstones.
Okay.
And so like when he had to go to a saw shed to see things laid out and whatever business he was doing, he'd take me with him. Well, as he got older and his health declined, he couldn't drive anymore. When we would talk on the phone, he'd tell me things like he felt like he was a prisoner in his own home because he couldn't go out and drive. And last year, I was sleeping, and it was. So I've had some crazy dreams with Rashad, who was my best friend from the Marine Corps, but where it's real, real. And I had one of these with my granddad. But this one was better because I accepted my granddad was gone. And in this dream, he and I are riding. He's driving me around in a truck.
Okay.
And I just told him, I was like, well, I sure am glad that you're able to drive around again. And he was like, yeah, it's a lot better here than it was there for a while. And I just woke up with this.
And you fucking have tears on your eyes and everything?
Yeah. I mean, I woke up with relief. You know, like I was like, man, good for him. Rashad, however, I had some fucked up dreams where, again, it feels so real. And I'm seeing him and I know he's dead. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And this has happened like 3 or 4 times. Mm-hmm. And I'm always like, I thought you were dead. And he's like, yeah, man, I don't know how that got around or whatever. Like, you know, I'm here.
Dude, I've had dreams about my mom, and she just shows up one day. And it's just so real.
But here's the fucked up part. So, like, as the dreams happen, like the first one I woke up, I was like, whoa. And then the second, well, like by the time I do it in the third one, I'm saying to myself, man, those other times were dreams, but this time, this is the real thing. He's back. He's here.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy. And then whatever, I wake up and I'm just, it's like they died all over again.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that one fuck. So like with my granddad, it was like a way of saying goodbye again. And it was like it gave me relief to know that he was in a better place. But with Rashad, it's like every time it happens, it's like I can't let go. I can't let him go. I can't deal with the fact that he died at such a young age.
It's so strange of how we can accept one person's death according to another. Because I also had, I had just recently.
You know, me and my granddad, we never went trolling for puss in Okinawa, Japan.
Maybe that.
So
might have been
Rashad and I had a stronger bond.
Yeah.
That I'm not ready to give up yet.
No, just recently I had this is probably around about 8 years ago. I was watching this kid, and I was babysitting. Mm-hmm. And it got to the point where the mother was a drug addict and everything. Me and the grandmother's trying to get this baby away. And like 2 months after I said, hey, I can't watch her anymore, you're going to have to find another babysitter. But me and the grandma were still talking, we had enough evidence. We were trying to get the evidence to the cops and getting the CPS to take the baby. The boyfriend ended up bashing the baby's head in.
Oh my God.
Coroner found out that the baby had a fracture in the arm. Babies, their bones are rubber until a certain time frame.
Bouncing babies, there's a reason they call them that.
Yeah, that's the reason why they call it. Scalp was
all right, hold on. Let's skip the details.
Okay.
I will fucking go find this dude. Nothing.
Oh, he's in jail, and he if it wasn't a couple of friends of mine taking out all the firing pins on my guns, he would have been dead. But anyways, there's a difference between that, because I know she had a better she had a chance for a better life.
Absolutely.
You know your grandfather had his life done.
Yeah.
I knew my mom had her life. I'm happy that I'm not happy about the way that she took it, but I'm happy that she was not in pain anymore. Mm-hmm. That's the way that our rational brains were actually thinking about at that point in time. But with a person that's taken earlier and still had life left, and you know it,
yeah,
that's where you start feeling sad that they're still gone.
I had to block some like type of. I'm on Reddit all the time.
Okay.
And I can't remember which one it was, but these stories just kept popping up of people, like mothers killing their children or boyfriends.
Dude, I just watched one that they sawed their fucking kid in half.
I had to to block it from coming up anymore, because I was just like, why does this keep? Because I have an 18-month-old daughter.
Oh yeah.
And things do become more personal once you start.
You have somebody something in your life that you have that.
When I see a story of a mother that kills a kid or something, I'm just like, how?
What goes into A or B?
My daughter is just now getting to where she can understand.
Yeah.
And 18 months old, she had some bread on her plate at a restaurant, took the bread and threw it on the ground. I set it back on her plate. I said, don't do that. She did it again. I grabbed her arm, and I looked at her in the eyes, and I said, no, don't do that. And she felt the seriousness, and tears came in. She was hurt.
Yeah.
She was emotionally hurt by me telling her she had done something wrong. And it was hard for me not to then start crying in the restaurant, knowing that by doing by correcting her, not abusing her, by correcting her, she got heartbroken in that moment, and that in turn made me feel like, how am I gonna do this? You know.
Well,
but then the thought that just seeing a child being saddened by something, the thought that a person could give birth to a child and physically harm them, and even go so far as to kill, it's beyond.
I had this
any
I had this instance with her. Well, basically, all I did was she was trying to get the food that I was preparing and everything, but it wasn't ready, so I just pushed her aside.
Yeah.
She just fucking started bawling. I was like, God damn it, child.
Man, you gotta watch it. Sometimes you'll push them over to the side, and they'll take that as an opportunity to fling themselves backwards as fast as they can. Start banging their heads on the ground like you threw them across the room, and it's like, okay, you're being a little dramatic right now.
Yeah.
But like, so children, toddlers, have so they're very narcissistic in that I don't know the correct psychological terms for this, but egocentric. So they do not understand that other people do not feel the same way that they do about something. So like when they're playing with something and you take it away, they don't understand that.
Yeah.
Like what? Like this is joyful.
And then you just took it away. What the fuck
So
are you
that's
doing?
why they start screaming uncontrollably, because they don't understand that someone else has a different opinion, or that someone else has a different feeling about something. When they slap you or something, that's fun for them. So then when you stop them, it's very confusing.
Yeah.
So raising a toddler can be a very frustrating time, because you are teaching a human that they are not the only thing that exists in this world. That's a very hard thing for a young developing mind to understand, and it takes time and it takes patience.
No, what's really funny is when you're trying to protect them. Mm-hmm. And you're trying to get them. It was like, why are you allowing me to touch that hot stove? And then when they touch the hot stove, you're like, why the fuck did you not stop me? What the fuck's going into your head?
They will look at you and be like, how could you let me do that?
It's fucking hilarious.
How about everything is my fault? Is that okay?
I mean, you're married.
Yeah.
I mean, you should have understood that.
I have the best marriage in the world.
I'm still, I'm jealous that you have that, only because, I met your wife and she is a joy to be around. And then I talked to you, I'm like, fucking how the hell did you pull that fucking off, you motherfucker?
She is, I listen to people talk about marriage sometimes, and they're like, marriage is hard work. And I'm like, no, life is hard work. There are things in your life that are difficult, but the one thing that isn't or shouldn't be is the marriage, because what I can say is that everything that I go through that is a challenge, my wife is there with me, and she supports me, and she talks me through things, and she corrects me.
And so basically, you don't have to bear everything on your shoulders.
That's right. And sure, we've had arguments before, but more than anything, I can always say that she makes my life better. And I think that I think we got married when we were in our late 40s.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe a lot of people get married too soon.
Well, that's the same thing that happened with Ross Patterson, him and his wife.
Yeah.
They ended up like marrying. I was like right before Range 15, I think it was, and they were in the business and everything. They moved down to Austin. They're great people, great people to talk to. But they married like late. They had their fuck ups, and now they know what they wanted, and they found each other.
I'd never been married before, but I was telling my buddy, I certainly have been with enough women.
Yeah.
And we were talking about Adam Levine, who recently got called out for cheating on his wife. He's a singer of Maroon 5. He's on The Voice. First of all, ain't no reason to be a rock star no more, because you can't get side pussy apparently is gonna get you in trouble, even if you're a rock star.
Because someone's gonna post that shit.
Yes, absolutely. There's no side chicks keep secrets anymore. That's the bottom line.
No, because there's like, hey, I can get likes for this shit.
Yes, exactly. It's all about clout.
I can get my fix real quick.
Used to be they just liked knowing that they were fucking a rock star.
Yeah.
Now they want to also be a fucking rock star.
Yeah.
So
well, it's possible to do that.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Surprisingly.
But I was talking to my buddy about it, and he was like, I've never been able to cheat on my wife. I just always think about the consequences, and it's too terrifying. And I go, okay, that's a good reason. I'm glad that you talk yourself out of it.
You found a way.
But I'm glad. I've been with a lot of women throughout my life. I've experienced all kinds of different relationships, and what I can say is marrying my wife when I was 41. What I like is that I know that my wife is the best.
Yeah,
she's the best for me. Maybe not the best in the world, but at every relationship that I've ever been in, I can compare all of these things, and I can go, she's the best. Ain't nobody ever gonna be better. Somebody might look better. Somebody might fuck better. Somebody might be nicer. But no one person is gonna be better at all three of those things.
Yeah.
And I'll go on record. I doubt anybody's gonna fuck better. My wife, that was like the beginning of our relationship was very sexual. And so much so that it was rather intimidating.
Was it one of those things you thought about calling the cops up and saying, hey, I think this woman like raped me? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure.
No, I knew I was consensual. I was a consenting
you might
partner.
You might have to go to therapy because of like the scars and shit. Like she did weird things. Oh, are you here because it scarred you?
Nah,
well, I kind of want to do it again.
I tell you what, there were a few times where I was like, man, I don't ever want to meet any of her exes, but I probably need to thank a couple of them because she learned some shit. And you know what? I mean, here's the thing. I think some people get caught up in their ex's past, or not in their ex, but in their significant other's exes and in their past and stuff. I've done everything. I had sex for 26 years before I met my wife, so I experienced a lot, and I know that she had sex for 26 years before she met me. So there's a lot of fucking going on between the two of us outside of our relationships, and luckily we both understand that. So I don't get caught up in the idea of who she might have been with in the past or anything like that, which I think is a very unhealthy thing for some people. What I get caught up in is that we are together now and we're going to be together forever, and I really look forward to that.
Okay.
I think that some people have a hard time of letting go of the past. I think that some people get nervous that they might lose somebody or something like that, but I'm very grateful in that I found the one that I know that I'm going to be with forever.
Okay.
Yeah, because she puts up with a lot of shit. So
that's I had a conversation with one of the other people in the apartment complex, and she was like, I go on dates with guys and everything. I was like, try this, go grocery shopping with the person. I went grocery shopping with one chick on a date. I was like, hey, I got to pick up some. Hey, she didn't know it was a date. She thought it was like just us hanging out. But, whatever. A date's a date.
Sure.
Took her grocery shopping, went in, totally ignored me throughout the whole thing. I mean, if I took her on a dinner, I'd be paying for this shit and everything. I'll just basically paying for my own groceries. Mm-hmm. I was buying my shit.
Right.
So it's kind of cheaper on me to do it that way, too. But I went grocery shopping. She totally ignored me. She went off to go do something else and came back. And then she was like, well, are you done? I was like, yeah, I'm done. What she didn't know is we're done. I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
Oh, that was it.
That was it. It was the whole fact is she just ignored me, and I just you know what's going to happen down the line is if she gets bored, she's going off.
That's a pretty good psychological read there.
It's stupid simple. Mm-hmm. It's something that's stupid simple. Now, if that person comes over and is like, hey, I found some stuff over here that we can make together.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have something because they're willing to, hey, do you like this? Do you like this? We'll go grab this and we can have this tonight.
So my wife and I were very lucky, I think, in that we got together right at the beginning of COVID. And so we were in Los Angeles locked down together. I mean, we spent 24 hours a day, every day together for...
That was so strange with that stuff.
Well,
in that area compared to where he was here.
For us, it was great because we realized that, I think a lot of people ended up ending their relationships off of that because they would get these 8 to 10 hour breaks from each other where they would go to work, but then all of a sudden they're forced to be locked up at home together for the whole time. And then they realize they don't really like each other.
Yeah.
Whereas me and my wife, we were watching TV. We binged The Sopranos together for the first time for each of us, having never seen it. I got her into the Marvel movies and stuff. I mean, we were just like doing everything together, and we loved it. Yeah. And it took us 1 month in a relationship, and it was like, you want to make a baby? And she was like, yeah, because we knew how old we were. We was like, look, if it's gonna happen, it needs to happen. And we were like, yeah, let's do it. So we like our baby. We got pregnant after dating for a month, and that was not an accident. That was a decision.
That is literally really strange on that fact. Well, it's understandable. As like the other strangest one was the dude that plays Vision, him and his wife.
Yeah.
They right after 9/11, they just got married.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Her name is Jennifer.
Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly, yes.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most gorgeous women.
Fucking gorgeous. I mean,
a natural beauty. Hasn't done anything to herself as she got older.
She's still hot.
If you watch Top Gun Maverick, which is probably the greatest film ever made.
Did I send you that? That me and Chris was talking about that. How after me and Johnny, a friend of the other host, we were watching that movie, and after we got done watching it, we were thinking about fucking going up to Shepherd and stealing a fucking jet.
Dude, that movie was so good, and it could have been. It had no right being good. Mm-mm. It is a sequel.
It's a sequel to A New Hope.
But it's a
carbon copy to A New Hope. Star Wars A New Hope.
Is it?
Yes.
Top Gun Maverick.
Okay. What was the thing they had to do in Star Wars? They had to destroy the Death Star. What did they have to do? They had to go to a trench run. What did they have to do on fucking Top Gun Maverick? They had to do a trench run. And there was fucking blasters and everything like that. Then they had to get up, and they didn't train as much. It was more or less, hey, this is them training for it. But it, hands down, Star Wars.
That run, okay, I'll give you that. That run is very much
a fucking Fat Lake Treasure does is like.
But
verbatim.
How many movies from the 80s have had sequels made now that people were like, that movie was awesome? Like, I can't think of any. But Top Gun Maverick,
small amounts.
Top Gun Maverick surpassed
Ghostbusters Afterlife.
That one was
really
okay.
Good. That was really good.
It was pretty good. I think it could have been better, but it wasn't as bad as the Ghostbusters reboot.
Oh God.
That one was.
I threw up a little bit in my mouth one.
Well, here's what I think. I think like they were trying to just make it their own.
No, they were trying to make it a comedy because the original Ghostbusters, it was considered a comedy.
Yeah.
But it was actually literally the first horror comedy.
Okay, I'll give it that.
It had the mix in it. It had funny stuff in it, but it didn't rely on the funny stuff.
I think that this one didn't so much as it didn't feel like fan service, but it still connected itself to the original Ghostbusters. And I think it had a pretty. Look, Paul Rudd's always going to be great in my opinion, and then Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things. That's a fun cast, but they didn't shun the original Ghostbusters. They had the woman who is
Janine?
Is it Janine? The secretary?
Yeah, Janine.
Okay, so she's there in the beginning, and then they bring in Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and the other guy. I can't remember his name. But they embrace the fact that this is a continuation of the movies that we love.
Well, it was also the director's son that did it.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. The director's son actually directed the Ghostbusters Afterlife.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Keeping...
And he also helped write it, and he went over with his dad. It's like, hey, I'm doing this. I mean, that's the reason why it looked exactly Zuckerman. That's the father, Rick Zuckerman, I think it is.
Who was the guy that ended up passing away? That was one of the Ghostbusters.
Oh, God, hold on.
Because him and Bill Murray had a very interesting relationship. Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
Harold Ramis directed Groundhog Day. Mm-hmm. And apparently Bill Murray was going through a divorce or something at the time. And he and Harold Ramis butted heads real bad during that. So much so that it affected their relationship and friendship, and I don't think they ever worked together again after that. So
that's probably true.
They actually, Bill Murray says something about Harold Ramis' character in this.
Yeah,
that is kind of taken.
No, it wasn't Bill Murray. It was Dan Aykroyd.
But Bill does too, because he's there.
Yeah. Okay,
He is saying something about that character that I think that he wanted to say about Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
Since he passed away. But it's good to see. I think that when people reboot something or make a sequel, you got to embrace the fact that whatever came before it was great, and there's a reason why you're doing it.
It's like the whole thing that's going on right now with the Little Mermaid.
Oh God, we're going to disagree on this, but go ahead.
No, I don't care. I really don't care.
Which is exactly what a grown man should say.
I don't care. And it was like, oh, it's because I was like, well, she's got some good pipes and everything like that. She's a good singer, and that's all. But here's the things no one else is talking about, and this is something that's really strange, is the new Hellraiser.
Yeah, I saw
they switched it to a female Pinhead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a chick.
I don't know anything about it. There are some things that I won't argue with.
Well, nobody. Okay, here's the funny thing about that.
It's a fictional monster.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Here's the thing about that. They are totally, hating on the fact that the Little Mermaid thing is black, but Pinhead as a woman, reason. A woman could destroy your fucking life. It's there. It can happen.
I don't mind the Little Mermaid being black. I mean, we're talking about a fish person, so it doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't fucking affect my life. I won't even watch it though. I won't watch it.
I will because I have a little girl.
Yeah. Now, if my daughter comes up and is like, "Hey, I want to watch the Little Mermaid," yeah, I'll watch it.
Here's my thing on the live action stuff. Aladdin should have just been left alone. Like, there's no reason why kids can't go back and watch that cartoon. I didn't think making it a live action really improved it. The Lion King was complete garbage. Like the animated version of the Lion King was so much better than a full-on CGI version. It's just creepy. But The Little Mermaid could be fun. I don't know if they'll do Frozen live action.
Well, they got to go through the list because right now the next one up, I think, is Pinocchio.
Pinocchio is on Disney Plus.
Did you know?
Tom Hanks is playing Geppetto.
Yeah.
I fell asleep.
Did you know that Pauly Shore did a Pinocchio movie, animated?
I did not.
He did the voice of Pinocchio in this anime. What?
Which one?
Oh, it just came out like recently.
Is Pauly Shore the voice of Pinocchio
Yeah.
alongside Tom Hanks as Geppetto?
No.
That's it, Pauly, P-A-U.
Dude, my dyslexia gets up. You'll laugh at it.
Okay.
Because I love
Let's
Google
go to his
now.
IMDb.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I was trying to go.
Let's see what his IMDb said. He's actually a pretty cool guy.
A lot of people say that.
I talked to him quite a bit. He would never know who I am, but I would see him as I was working at the comedy
Pinocchio,
store.
true story, plays Pinocchio.
Okay, let's click on that and see what it looks like, because this is different. This is not the one that's on Disney Plus, which I find interesting. I think these must be stories that are going into the public domain.
There you go. Now, what should we name you? Maybe Leonardo. No, he'd grow up to be a turtle who only cares about pizza. I don't believe my eyes. Your name would be Pinocchio.
It's the Pinocchio, brother.
You've got the whole world to see. You are too special, Pinocchio. The world is full of people who could harm you.
The timeless story.
Our last few shows barely had any audience. We just need to come up with a new act.
Come on!
You thought you knew.
The coach is headed for the cliff. She's gonna fall. Senorita,
This doesn't look like Pinocchio.
are you made of wood? You will become a
They did not do a good job of animating it to look like a wooden
it's
boy.
one of those-
He looks just like everybody else.
Yeah. It's one of those. I had a talk with a person recently about when like a popular animated or something like that, you get like, or even in movies, you'll have like something come out that they just did like really fast, a B-rated movie
Yeah.
style of it. Like Avengers, it was like a fairy tale or the like Little Red Riding Hood and everything like that. There's the guy that played Rico in Starship Troopers.
Yes.
He's in those. He's the villain of all three of the fairy tale ones.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about. The fairy tale ones? What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
Hold on.
You said Avengers?
I'll bring it up. Hold on.
Okay,
It's
I gotta
fucking-
see what you're talking about.
I have to bring up him. Christopher Von Deen.
Casper, like the ghost. Casper Van. I don't know if it's Dean or Don. You might have gotten every one of those names wrong.
I'm fucking mentally challenged, so.
All right, so what? Let's see. What'd you say these are called? These are.
Like,
Dude, it's crazy how someone that you never see in anything, how much they work. This dude is in everything. He does a lot of voiceover, it looks like.
yeah, he does. Was it 2008? Oh yeah, he was in Vampire Hunter.
This is why I can't get any roles, because they keep giving everything to these guys that done everything.
Nowadays, make your own.
Move over, bud. It's time for somebody else to take the reins. Sleepy Hollow,
Okay, there we go.
go down.
Yeah,
Go down.
he was in Sleepy Hollow.
Right
you know.
there. Is that? Wait, did you find what you were looking for? I didn't know.
No,
if that
no,
was
it's up more.
it. Okay.
I know it around when it was actually it was out, because it was like right around
The Dog Who Saved Christmas Vacation. Coming this December. You've seen The Dog That Saved Thanksgiving and The Dog That Saved Easter. Well, coming this September, it's The Dog Who Saved Christmas Vacation. Time to.
okay, Avengers Grimm. There we go.
No. What is that? Can you click on the trailer? What
Hold on.
is that?
I'll find it. Hold on.
That is crazy. It's an hour and a half I thought you were talking about some kind of animated show.
No, dude. There's so much fucking stuff out
Lou
there.
Ferrigno,
Yeah, he played in it too.
the Hulk.
He's an ass.
You've met him before? You've met Lou Ferrigno?
I work with a lot of cons because they have a lot of charity people that work in there, and I work with the charity groups and everything, get their voices out there.
Yeah.
And they were talking really bad.
All right, this is a 56-second clip, so let's check it out. I might go home and watch this.
Others are coming to stop
Okay, so something teleported them from a medieval time to today.
Yeah, I'm guessing that.
One of them learned how to drive.
Apparently.
Okay, Snow White, Rapunzel, Sleeping Beauty, and Red Riding Hood, along with Cinderella.
Oh, there's Lou Ferrigno.
Dude. You think, all right, what year was that made?
Hold on. Fuck. What did they do?
Because here's what I'm thinking. Okay,
It was,
2015.
yeah.
So this is after the Avengers is a big thing. I think they just threw the Avengers Grimm in there to play off of the Avengers title and to maybe hopefully get some people to come upon it on accident.
No, that's what they do.
That is.
Dude, there's so many. This
feels like a trademark infringement.
No,
I feel
if
like
you-
Disney got a case on their hand. Not only that, but they took all those Disney characters. Snow White, Cinderella.
There's certain ones that you can't, like Santa Claus. You can't copyright Santa Claus.
Right. Well, there's that show called Happily. No, wait. Once Upon a Time. What is that show on?
Once upon a time, but it's Disney.
Yes, but it was so good the first season.
Oh God, I got so.
And
fucking
then once they
depressed
brought
after,
in,
yeah.
like, I saw the second season or third season was going to have Elsa from Frozen, and I hadn't watched any of those yet, and I was just like, I feel like it's jumping the shark. It could have been a really good. What do you call them when they only do like 3 seasons? It's like a mini series or something like
Mini-series.
or a special series. I don't know, but they should have taken that
okay.
storyline and actually gave it a good ending in 3 seasons because that was awesome.
Here's the stuff. The reason why I like the streaming stuff compared to the actual TV stuff, you got 22 episodes.
Yeah.
And I'll notice the pattern on those 22 episodes. Some of them are just filler episodes.
The first episode is good, the last episode is good, and then there's 20 episodes in between.
Yeah.
Pick and choose.
But you have like the ones that they're only putting like 8 to 10.
Yep.
And there's no filler episodes.
Feel
so
bad
the whole,
for the actors, to be honest, because you lose out a lot.
Nowadays, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Compared to what it was back in the day. And
Man,
everything
if you were on a sitcom, a 22 episode sitcom,
Dude, Seinfeld. I mean, he's up in the millions.
Seinfeld, Frasier,
He almost has $1 billion.
who Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Seinfeld is a billionaire
I think he owns like
because he got production credit early on, so he's not only getting money as a actor on the show, but he got actor, writer. I think he's worth over $1 billion.
oh, close. Close.
Come on, all he's got to do is make one investment, and then that'll go up.
All he has to do is
So he's
sell-
up to $950 million.
Yeah, all he has to do is sell something.
You know who actually is richer than him? Look up Julia Louis-Dreyfus, her net worth.
Oh yeah. You know why?
Because her grandfather is some billionaire.
Owned.
I don't know if it was a media or oil or what, but
Yeah, I looked it up just recently, like a couple of weeks ago.
there it is. Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Father.
His net worth is $3.4 billion. He was it was energy services.
Yeah, I knew it was something to do with that, but her net worth.
It says 250 million,
But it doesn't account because her father's still alive.
yeah, she's gonna be a rich.
Yeah. Well, it's like, dude, what's her name?
Salma Hayek.
Selma Hayek. Yeah. She fucking married a goddamn fucking billionaire.
Was that who you really going
Yeah,
for?
yeah.
She's
Salma
just
Hayek.
she's my number one out of like she's just oh my god. Little 13-year-old me saw Desperado in the theater, and I was just like, oh, that's what a woman's supposed to be right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Changed my life.
Yeah. I mean, she's fucking hot. And her voice. She could yell at me, and I would like,
Come.
yeah. I would like, oh, God.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
gonna-
you, ma'am. May I have another?
I think I might piss you off later on in the day. I'm not sure. I might do that.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. But she married a billionaire.
I don't blame her.
But yeah. I'm like,
I wish I had $1 billion.
that's like one of those things. Why is she not in like a lot of movies? She's really
She
popular, and she's
doesn't
like, I
have to be. Also, so she portrayed Frida Kahlo, who's like this really famous Mexican artist, and she had to deal. That was like her passion project, but it was owned by Miramax, which is Harvey Weinstein. And she had to deal with a lot of fucking bullshit with him getting that movie made. And I think that once she didn't have to deal with that anymore, she was like, fuck it.
I would have done the same
I'm not
thing.
making movies no more. You know, I mean, she still does. She did The Hitman's Bodyguard, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
I think that's more or less because of Ryan Reynolds
Maybe.
or Samuel L. Jackson.
But, you know, I mean, she still does some stuff here and there.
But she does like fun stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that shit that she was portraying in A Hitman's Bodyguard.
Yeah, I mean, she's pretty amazing, and it's sad that I think maybe she turned on the industry a little bit after having to deal with some stuff. But you know, she still got a body of work that we can admire. We can always go back.
I can go back in time.
Yeah,
Like I want to see her movies again.
but she's the best.
Yeah, she is.
Her and Penelope Cruz in Banditas. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
you know how many people
you know,
fucking seen that goddamn fucking movie?
It's so funny.
That was a great movie, though.
I can sit here and say it's fucked up that she had to go through the shit that she went through as a young actress in Hollywood, but at the same time I'm like, man, her tits were great in Desperado. Yeah. Like I'm no better than those fucking guys.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, no, it's one of those things. Is those people were actually disgusting. Me and you, if it came around to it and everything like that, we would be like, I think I'm pulling the line on this one. I'm crossing that goddamn fucking line. Maybe I should draw it back a little bit. but those people, they were predators and they knew it.
Look, click on that second picture there on the right up, over that one right there. Click on that. That's so that's her. That must be her grandfather. That's Julia Louis-Dreyfus' granddad right there. That must have passed 84 billions of dollars, and it can't get you past 84. What's the point?
I don't know. Most of those people that actually get that high ranking of money and everything like that, it's either it turns to shit to where all the sexual activity they want to do has to deal with you have to be shit on or shit on somebody. Fucking look at that shit, dude. We went to an episode on that.
No poor person asks someone to shit on them so they can get off.
Exactly. When's the last time you asked your wife, "Hey, I know we're not making, we're finally make the big, but can you shit on my fucking chest, or can I shit on your chest?"
That is very true.
But I mean, look at the guy that had WikiLeaks. There was a whole fucking thing that he would have like what's her name? The Baywitch
Julian
bitch.
Assange?
No, the Baywitch bitch.
No, I'm saying is that the WikiLeaks guy, Julian Assange?
Yeah.
Okay. You talking about Pamela Anderson?
Yeah. She would like sit in a hammock and shit on them.
And that's where we got to end this episode.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to drive home thinking about that. You know how hard it's gonna be to masturbate on the way home today? That's
Not
fucked
that
up.
hard. You probably give it this. It's like just think of yourself rich. You can go through it.
I gotta go home and follow my fantasy football team and get pissed off. So really excited
Oh
about
man,
that.
I'll send it to you when you get home or something like that.
My buddy told me
There's this funny skit of fantasy football league and how this whole the ref, the players and everything are trying to figure out how to get everybody good on their fantasy team and everything. Mm-hmm. And they finally figured it out. And then his father-in-law is like, "Fuck! He fucked me again this week. That goddamn fucking my damn son-in-law." He's like,
Well,
"It's not as bad. It's not as bad as what he did with my team last week. He kicked the whole entire team off the fucking field."
I don't know what I'm doing. So
Oh, no.
so my buddy
Think about it like D&D.
my buddy sends me like he's like, "Hey, replace this person," because we're in the same league.
Yeah.
So he'll just be like, "Hey, replace this person with this person. Trade. Don't accept that trade. Do this." I actually accepted a trade, not knowing what I was doing, that the entire league vetoed without my knowledge and sent the player back to me.
Holy
it was
shit.
so lopsided. They were like, "No, you cannot.
Could you imagine?
You are retarded. Here is your player back. Do not accept any more trades."
Dude, could you imagine the people that got like Dax Prescott or Deshaun Watson?
How about this? Mine is a legacy league, so you keep your players.
Okay.
And my first round draft pick was Matthew Stafford, and my buddy was like, "You got like a year or two with him left. What are you doing?" And I was like, "I just believe in him." He's like, draft some rookies now. And then I drafted Gronk. I drafted Gronk because it was just a name that I recognized.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy was like, "He retired." You drafted a player that's not playing this year. And I was like, "I got a feeling he might come back."
Well, he could have.
Tom Brady came back.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
You think he's gonna leave Tom hanging? He's like,
know,
"Yeah,
right?
he's done." Like, all right, and so am I. I gotta get out of here.
All right, buddy, and that's the end of the episode, everybody. Thank you for watching or listening. Catch this episode today on Sunday. I'll probably edit the whole bullshit. We'll just get.
Just make sure everybody knows I'm at.
Oh yeah.
At Mitch Burrow on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. TikTok for fun videos. Instagram for cute pictures of my daughter. Pretty much these days, that's all I do. Every now and then I'll post a show poster when I'm going to be on the road, and then tweets rarely, if ever, come out. So you can follow me, and it really won't change your life at all.
Yeah.
So that's
But
usually positive.
I'll put all the information. Just send me all the details on it. And I'll
Okay,
put it up.
sounds
on the
good. Hey
description.
man, thank you for having me here.
No,
This
thank
has
you
been
for
a lot
coming
of
in.
fun.
Yeah.